we are going to be talking about a dry side monitoring system, which basically has three components. Okay, first being the moisture sensor strip. These acts like a moisture trap. They are usually programmed to be in a dry condition. If at all they sense any moisture at any time, it will send the signal to our sensor node. Our sensor node in turn will communicate with our communication gateway that uploads the data on cloud, and the user can actually monitor the moisture ingress or moisture built up in real time. I'm going to display how. Okay, now starting with again three component system. First being a communication gateway. Simple system. It has a power in. From here, this terminal, it connects to the first sensor node. This is the inside point of in terminal of a sensor node. This is an out terminal of a sensor node, and then from here there are 10 zones which can be plugged to one sensor node, and there can be over 100 sensor node that can be plugged in a string connection with one wire coming back to the communication gateway, which is this wire. So it will take data from over 100 sensor nodes and upload the data on cloud. Okay, so again, communication gateway, simple power in, signal and data transfer in on a sensor node. This is a string connection, and from here 10 zones are being connected. This is my ground lead. I need to plug this ground lead at one point, at any one given point. Everything else is interconnected. Now what is going to happen is, imagine right now it is all in dry condition. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the our monitoring software parallelly so that you can understand. This is the standard Rooftech dashboard. If you go in a dashboard, right, okay, I will have to log in. There's a login page. 5, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pardon me. Okay, so this is a dashboard, right, in which you have 5 options. First is the dashboard. You will see what site are we talking about. There's a sensor overlay. I will speak about each one of them. Let's just directly go to transaction list for now. Okay, the transaction list will show you the exact status. Right now, you know, my last leak was observed, like let's say on 20th of April at 15:56, and that was the leakage observed, right? That was in zone number 1 for that matter. Okay, now let's just see, there are no leak. This is in real time, right? There is no leak here. Now I'm going to create a leak. Okay, I'm just going to use a wet mop, just give it little wetness, right? And imagine that due to condensation issue or due to any of the plumbing utility lines, it started leaking. Okay, and there was a moisture built up here and it made the connection, right? There was a moisture. Immediately you see something happened, it registered a leak. Okay, it has a process time of 60 seconds before the signal is transferred through the sensor node to the communication gateway on cloud and on your screen. There will be lag of about 60 seconds. Okay, so once that is there, right, I refresh it. I refresh my page. Once any of the leak is registered, correct, you will actually get notifications on your mobile phone, on your email, etc. As you saw in real time, a leak was registered at 16:30 in zone number 2, which is your zone number 2 because I made that leak. Imagine that okay, somebody is going to go, they know exactly where the zone number 2 is, they will address the problem, they fixed whatever the problem was, right? And then you're going to put the tape again in dry condition, meaning somebody addressed that leak right away, and I'm kind of mopping it up, drying it up, so that my system thinks that it is in dry condition and the leak has been repaired. Correct? Now again, after 60 seconds, during which what is happening, we should get a leak repaired reading, right, on the server in real time. So let's just try and see, and I'm gonna again do filter, or I'm just refreshing the page, right? And then there you see that the leak was repaired at 16:31 here. The leak was repaired at 16:31 because I dried, there is no moisture built up on zone number 2 now. Similarly, the system is smart enough that if I make a zone, imagine that something started leaking. See, the distance between two sensor strips, the closer the distance, more accurately you can identify which location started leaking. Correct? If I, the maximum distance between the tapes would define the accuracy or what have you. I mean, you'll be able to exactly pinpoint the location. Sometimes what is going to happen is something started, a malfunction was there near to zone number 3, okay, and the water started leaking, okay. Of course, that zone number 3 will be triggered in some time, right? Once it registers, it has a 60-second delay because you don't want any false reading. If there is any, like, if it outlays any of the ground connection, you don't want immediately it to be triggered. Once the leak is sustained for at least 60 seconds, it registers a leak. But now you could not address this leak again, I mean, in a due course of time, and more water is being spilled like this, and water started spreading. Okay, here what happened, the leak started at zone number 3 and the water spread it to zone number 2, right, again, and there was a consistent reading on zone number 2 as well for 60 seconds. If that happens, the alarm will trigger for zone number 2 as well, rightfully so. That is what we want, correct? Let's just wait it out for 10-15 seconds and this alarm should buzz for zone number 2 as well here. So it buzzed for zone number 2 as well. Now a user will think that okay, I've got the notification for zone number 3 as well, zone number 2 as well. But then here is the beauty about the whole system, that when I will refresh that page, right, my system should know exactly that which leak happened at what time, so that you can understand the trend and specifically go to zone number 3, meaning because it started leaking at that point in time. If you see the system, now we know the time, that at 16:36 zone number 3 started leaking, and eventually the water spread it out to zone number 2 and it started leaking at 16:37. So my software knows exactly, it understands and analyzes the pattern of leakage observed and tells you the probability, or with the short information that you should actually see at zone number 3 and you should find that leaking problem.